أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربي زدني علما أجمعين اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to LQ Milton, class number 54. The beauty of understanding the language of Quran is when we recite these verses or when we send our peace and blessing to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we feel through the words, because when we are saying these words we know what they mean. So, the impact of the recitation of the ayah of Quran or saying the durood, peace and blessing to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, will make an impact on your heart. Alhamdulillah. So, class number 54 will try to finish lesson number 11 inshallah. This is the third consecutive class. We are on we'll try to finish the exercises, but before we actually begin the exercises in lesson number 11. Last time we analyzed the surah from the Quran, and I was reviewing the video. It was posted on our YouTube channel, and I spotted an error there, and I was hoping that somebody would pick up that error, but that's okay. We can correct what we said. So, when we started the ayah, we said iza is your harfu shart, and then after iza came jaa, when came, right. So, jaa is the fail madi. Ja is the fail madi, a verb, and we know whenever there is a verb there has to be a doer of the action or the file. And in the video I said that the file is mustatir here, taqdiruhu huwa, right. But then we had established that whenever there is a ayah or a sentence and there is an ism that is marfu, it automatically becomes the file. So, sometimes error happens, but they are for the benefit, so that it remains in our mind. So, whenever there is an ayah in the Quran and there is an ism and it is marfu, it automatically qualifies as the file or the doer of the action. That is what we learned. So, when we say jaa, we completely forgot that after jaa comes nasru. And what is nasru? Ismu masdar, gerund, right, and it is an ism and it declines properly. Nasrun, nasran and nasrin, it declines properly, and it has all the qualities of an ism, and it is derived from fa'ala, from the fail nasara. So, nasru is your file. What is coming? What came? Nasr, right. So, this is one of the errors that we like to correct, inshallah. May Allah Ta'ala have mercy on us, and that is why at the end of each class we say La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha laha ma kasabat wa alayha maktasabat rabbana la tu'akhizna in nasina wa akhtana. So there's a reason why we make this dua or we recite these verses from the Quran. If we forget or if we make mistake, don't hold us accountable for that, because we are only learning, inshallah. So that was something to keep in mind. The other thing that I remembered, that wastaghfir, I think I forgot to mention, this is also your fail amar. Fail amar. Sabbe is the fail amar and astaghfir is also fail amar. So that's something was missing in the last lecture. So we'll inshallah begin our exercises in lesson number 11. They are very easy exercises, but very important, because these exercises will give us a good understanding or strengthen our knowledge of fail mudare, because Dr. Sahab is giving us some food for thought how to use a proper fail mudare or the present tense in a sentence. It's page number 76. Tamareen, we have already done the lesson, okay, and exercise number 1 is Ajib anil as'ilatil atiyati, answer the following questions. Now, when we are answering these questions, are we there, Ali bhai? Yeah. When we are answering these questions, the answers are coming from the lesson that we read. B ayyi, in which jamiati yadrusu Abdullahi, in which university Abdullah studies. Fir Riyadi. So we can say Yadrusu, he studies fi Jamiatir Riyadi, in the University of Riyadh, right. Fi ayyi kulliyatin yadrusu huwa, in which faculty he studies. Do we know in which faculty he studies? Yudrusu fi kulliyatil handasati, in the faculty of engineering. Question number 3. So even though we are answering the questions, it's better if we write them down, so that we know how we are constructing these sentences. Fi ayyi kulliyatin yadrusu Isa, Isa yadrusu fi kulliyati tibbi, right, yadrusu fi kulliyati tibbi, he studies in the faculty of medicine. Number 4, fi ayyi kulliyatin yadrusu Ibrahimu, Ibrahimu yadrusu fi kulliyati tijarati, in the faculty of commerce. Fi ayyi kulliyatin yadrusu Ishaq, yadrusu fi kulliyatil adabi, in the faculty of arts. All the answers are on page number 75, when Abdullah is explaining about his brothers. Fi ayyi kulliyatin yadrusu Ismail, yadrusu fi kulliyatil ulumi, in the faculty of science. Number 7, aina tadrusu akhwatun Abdullahi, what is the meaning? Where the sisters of Abdullah studies. So if I am saying, when we are using Ibrahim, Ismail, Isa, Ishaq, we were saying yadrusu, he studies, yadrusu, he studies. Now we are talking about the sisters, akhwatun. So what kind of mudare we will use here? Yadrusna, right? Yadrusna, hunna, yadrusna. So, we say yadrusna, they study. Where do they study? Fi madrasatil Khalid ibn al-Walidi lil banat bi Makkah. So, they studies in the school Khalid ibn al-Walid for girls in Makkah. So, we need to change our gears when we are answering these questions, right. We need to know when we are talking about huwa, then we are using yadrusu, but when we are talking about hunna, we are using yadrusna, right. So, aina yuskunu Abdullahi, okay, where Abdullah lives. So, we are talking about Abdullah and we want to say Abdullah lives with his relative, right. So, sakana yaskunu. So, what should we be using? Yaskunu, yaskunu. So, he lives yaskunu ma'a qaribin, with his yaskunu, he lives with relative. But then if I want to say he lives with his relevant, one of his relatives, so what should we say? Lahu, he lives with his relative of his, right, lahu. Number 9, wa aina, and where yaskunu ikhwatuhu, his brothers, where does his brothers lives? I think they lived in the Mahajil Jamiati, right. So, brothers, ikhwatu, ikhwatu. Akhun, ikhwatun is the plural, proper plural. Akhun, ikhwatun. So, they live in Mahajil Jamiati, in the hostel of university, right. So, yeah. So, what kind of mudare we will use here? We are talking about the brothers. Yadrusuna, hum, huwa, huma, hum, yadrusuna. Exercise number 2, sah mayali, right, sah mayali. Exercise number 2, we are going to read the sentence and we will say whether this is a correct statement or the right statement. And these statements are basically coming from the lesson. La ya'rifu Abdullahil Muhandisa Salmana, right. La ya'rifu Abdullahil Muhandisa Salmana. Abdullah, what is the verb here? Arafa, he knew. Arafa ya'rifu, he knows. So, the sentence here is saying us Abdullah does not know the engineer Salman. That is wrong, because he knows engineer Salman. So, we can say ya'rifu Abdullahi, we just remove the la and we take out the la and we say ya'rifu Abdullahil Muhandisa Salmana, right. Now, one grammatical rule that we learned when we are negating the mudare, then we negate it with la, but when we negate the fi'l madi, we negate it with ma. Abdullahi mutazawwijun, Abdullahi mutazawwijun. Is he married? What is the meaning of mutazawwijun? Married. Is he married? No, he is not. So, we say Abdullahi laisa bi mutazawwijin. So, see why we are saying bi mutazawwijin, because laisa is fi'l naqis wa jamid, right, and the khabar laisa comes with harf jar bi. So, to remember this concept or this grammatical rule, so rather saying mutazawwijun, we say bi mutazawwijun. Remember alaysa Allahu bi ahkamil hakimin. So, if we remember this ayah, we will never forget this grammatical rule ever, right. So, the khabar laisa will come with harf jar bi.
You can also say that
Abdullah,
Azabun.
we can say that. Rather saying rather than using laisa bi mutazawwijin, you can say azabun. I mean, he's a bachelor. Number 3, yadrusu Abdullahi fi sanatil ula. Abdullah studies in first year. Yadrusu Abdullahi fi sanatis sani. Right, he studies in second year, he does not study in first year. Fi sanata saniyati. Number 4, nazala Abdullahi min al hafilati qabla nuzulin Faisal. Was that true? What is the meaning of this sentence? Nazala Abdullahi, Abdullah get down, min al hafilati from the bus, qabla before nuzuli Faisali, before exiting of Faisal. No, wrong. Bada. So, we can say the same thing, but remove qabla with bada, right, because Faisal left the bus or get down from the bus before Abdullah. So, we can say nazala Abdullahi min al hafilati ba'da nuzuli Faisalin. Exercise number 3. Ajib anil as'ilatil atiyati, answer the following questions. Hazihil as'ilati, these questions, laysat mabniyati ala darsil hadi ashara. So, what does that mean? That these questions have nothing to do with lesson number 11. Okay. So when we
When you say Dr.
Yeah.
I think he's preparing us for the next lesson.
No, he's just testing our knowledge, because the previous exercise number 1 and 2, they are both, we can get the answers from the lesson, but now he's just giving us random questions and then asking us to answer those questions. So, we do not have a reference as we had for exercise number 1 and 2. So, he is saying aina tadrusu anta, where do you study? So, now he is not talking about Abdullah or Isa or Ibrahim or Ismail or akhawatun or what. So, he is asking us aina tadrusu anta. So, okay. So, fi Jamati Toronto, right? Okay. Now, Inambai, keep this thought. You answered ana. Did you say udrusu? Yeah. Okay. Adrusu, ana adrusu fi Jamiati Toronto. Yeah, this is your answer. What kind of jumla is this? Ismiya. If I want to answer in a jumla failure, see, this is the opportunity, okay, for us to learn new things here and there. If we have the opportunity to answer the same question with a jumla failure, what should I do? Exactly. Remove ana. Remove ana. Even then, it is correct. Now, the answer is in Jumla Felia, the other one was in Jumla Ismiya, right, nominal sentence and verbal sentence. So, this is a good exercise. Aina taskunu, sakana means he lived, yaskunu he lives, right. So, askunu fi Milton, in Milton, yeah. There is no T in Arabic, so we say fi Milton, right. Miltun, or okay, yeah, fi Mahaji el Jamiati, in the hostel of university, we can say that. Ata'ariful lughata, arafa means he knew, ya'rifu he knows. When I am talking about anta ta'arifu, do you know? Know what? What should I bring? Maf'ulun bihi, object. Okay. I am afraid there are many exercises, I am not sure, but that is okay. We can finish lesson number 11. Al-lughata, not al-lughatu, al-lughata, because now it is maf'ulun bihi. Al-faransiyata is your not, right, is your adjective. Do you know French language? Now, you want to say, or we want to say, this is again very beautiful in Ambai, you have put this thought into my mind, Jazakallah. So, you want to say, or we want to say, let us answer this question in Jumla Ismiya, right. Ana ma, ta'arifu, ta'arifu, yeah. Or you can say naam, yes, arifuhu, I know it, arifuhu, I know it. Question number 4, min ayyi iza'atin tasma'ul akhbar, in which radio station you hear the news. So, I want to say you hear. So, I want to say I hear, asma'u, samaya, yasma'u, asma'u, I hear, al akhbara, the news, min, from which radio station? 680, I like 680 or CBC or global news, right, or city news, yeah, whatever is the favorite one. Exercise number 4, ta'ammal amsilati, ponder upon the examples, summa, then, da, put, fil faraq, in the blank sentence, fima yali, what follows, al mudare, the present tense, min al fail, from the verb, zahaba, ba'da isnadihi ila damir, okay, after qualifying the damir. Let us take a look at example here. Abdullah yadrusu bi Jamiatir Riyadi, very simple. Abdullah studies in University of Riyadh, wa, and ikhwatuhu, his brothers, right brother, ikhwatuhu, and his brothers, aidan, also, yadrusuna. See how the verb is changing now. Abdullah, we use yadrusu, and when we say his brothers, yadrusuna, they study bi Jamiatir Riyadi, also his brothers also studies in the University of Riyadh, wa akhwatuhu, and his sisters, yadrusna fil madrasatil mutawassatati, in the middle school, right. So, yadrusu, yadrusuna, yadrusna, was Zainabu tadrusu, Zainab studies fi sanatil ula, in the first year. Why we are using tadrusu for Zainabu? Here. Here. Now, one thing we need to understand, I think some of the kids in the Jummah prayer, but that's okay. Huwa, huma, hum, hiya. Huma, hunna, anta. You see, hiya and anta, they're both the same, tadrusu and tadrusu. You see that? Do you observe that, Ahmed bhai? When we say Zainabu tadrusu fi sanatil ula, in the first year, we are using tadrusu in the sense of hiya. So, the context of the sentence will tell us whether we are talking about hiya or anta. The sentence, the context of the sentence will tell us in which, where is the file, which damir it is representing. Is it representing hiya or is it representing anta? So, this is the example. Now, number 1, Abi, my father, and there is a blank, ila suki kulla sabahin. He does something to the market every morning, kulla sabahin, every morning. What does he do? And Dr. Sahab is telling us to use sahaba and his derivatives in the mudare form. So, Abi yazhabu, very good, perfect. Number 2, at-tullabu al-ana ilal malabi yazhabuna, yazhabuna, okay, very good. The students are going right now to the playground. Number 3, Ali bhai, ukhti, my sister, ilal madrasati, which derivative of zahaba should I be using? Ukhti, tazhabu, hiya, like tadrusu, because okay. So, whenever we are using, this is why these are very good exercises, because it prompts us to think about the damir. When I say number 1, when I say Abi, okay, what is the first thing, and that's okay if you are taking time, that's okay. When I say Abi is Abi, I am saying my father, is my father present here? No. So, I should be using the third person damir for him. Clue number 1, right? Is he a masculine or a feminine? Masculine. So, there are 6 third person, huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna. So, by process of elimination, I am only now in huwa, huma, hum. Okay, Ali bhai? I am just providing the formula here. Now, is he a singular? Yes. So, I know huwa. So, I would use the first form. So, when we go back to home, and if you find time, this is the process of elimination we should be doing. The second one, at-tullabu, the students, are they first person right now, second person or third person? No, third person, they are not present here, they are not present here, right? At-tullabu, they are not present here. Are they masculine or feminine? Masculine. So, now out of those 6 third person damir, I have eliminated the feminine, the 3 feminine, and I'm left with huwa, huma, hum only. Okay, and then are they singular, dual, or plural? Plural. So, out of those 3, which one should I apply? The hum form. Yazhabuna. Okay, ukhti, my sister, is she around? No. Third person. Is she feminine? Yes. So, I should be using either hiya, huma, or hunna, right? Is she singular? Yes. So, I should be using the singular form now. So, I should say tazhabu, right? Tazhabu. Number 4, Aminatu wa Fatimatu wa Aishatu al-ana ilal maktabati. Yazhabna, hunna yazhabna, antunna tazhabna. Number 4, Aina and then there's a blank, anta ya Ahmad. Now this is tazhabu. Why tazhabu, Ahmad bhai? Anta, because it's second person, and I'm saying ya Ahmad. So you use the harfu nida only when somebody is in front of you. Right? You use ya because and also anta is directly used, so we say tazhabu. Very good. Number 6, ana al-ana ilal masjid. This is simple. Azhabu. I am going right now to the masjid. Akmil jumla al-atiyati biwada fail mudare munasib. So now we don't have now in exercise number 4, Dr. Saab gave us the verb zahaba, but now he is asking us to use any verb of our choice. Okay, and same drill. At-tullabu kuratul qadami kulla masa'in. Every evening they play soccer. They play, I said that. Yeah, yalabuna, laiba, yalabu, and yalabuna. At-tullabu yalabuna. The students play soccer every evening. Number 2, al-mudarrisu, the teacher, ad-darsa ala saburati. What does yaktabu? The teacher writes, not wrote, writes what? Ad-darsa mafulun bihi. I don't say ad-darsu, I say ad-darsa mafulun bihi ala saburati, on the board. Akhwati, my sisters, as-siyaba bis-sabuna. They did something to the dress with soap. So let's say ghasala, he washed. Ghasala yaghsilu, and then I'm talking about akhwati. So yaghsilna, hunna yaghsilna, antunna taghsilna. Now number 4, ana, I, al-Qur'ana kulla sabahin. I do something to the Quran every morning. Qara'a means he read. Yaqra'u, he reads. 5 in your pocket. Yaqra'u, taqra'u, aqra'u, naqra'u. So which of those 5 I should be using? Aqra'u, right? I read what? Al-Qur'ana mafulun bihi kulla sabahin, every morning. Number 5, a harfu istifham, al-akhbara min al-iza'ati, the news from the radio station, kulla yawmin, every morning, ya Abdullah, O Abdullah. So the first thing I should know that who's my addressee? Abdullah. Is he huwa form, anta form? Anta form, because I'm using ya. So I should be, process of elimination, I should be using the anta form. So he does something to the news from the radio station. Tasma'u, atasma'u. Do you listen to the news, or the news min al-iza'ati? Now translation can be anything, everybody will come up with a different translation, but the point is we have to train our minds to think in Arabic. Okay, we are translating these sentences because but when I would say atasma'ul akhbara min al-iza'ati kulla yawmin ya Abdullah, at one point, some point inshallah, my mind do not require a translation anymore. I know exactly what is being said, right? Number 6, at-talibatu, the female students, ilal madrasati bihafilatil madrasati. So they are doing something to the school by from school bus. Yazhabna. the female students, at-talibatu, third person, feminine, plural, hunna, yazhabna, goes to the school by school bus. Number 7, a harfu istifham, al azana fi ghurfatika ya Ali. Now, the minute I see ya Ali, I know my addressee is anta form. Okay, very good. The minute, so I should be using the damir or the fi'l mudari from the second form, and Ali is singular, and he is masculine, and he is a second person. So anta form I should be using. So we can use any verb, any verb, suitable verb in the anta form. So I say atasmaul azana. Atasmaul azana, do you hear the azan fi ghurfatika, in your house, O Ali? Number 8, at-tullabu blank al mudarrisa as'alata kasiratan. So at-tullabu masculine, third person, masculine third person, plurals. So I should be using something with from hum form, hum damir, right. So the students, sa'ala means he questioned, he asked, right. So sa'ala yas'alu, yas'aluna, the student asked, asks, ask whom, al mudarrisa. So whenever the verb comes, we have to ask two questions to this verb, what and whom, if it makes sense that we need a maf'ulun bihi or the object, right. Number 9, an-nisa'u at-tuffaha. And what is the meaning of an-nisa'u? The woman, the woman. So the minute I know the woman, I know feminine, I know third person, I know plural. So akala means, let us say they are eating, at-tuffaha means the apple, let us say they are eating, akala means he ate, ya'kulu he eats. What would be the mudare for hunna? Yakulna, yakulna, an-nisa'u yakulna tuffaha, the women are eating the apple. Number 10, al mudiratu al ana min maktabiha, the director. Now is the director masculine or feminine here? Feminine. How do you know? Because there is a ta marbuta there, right. Is the director feminine? Is it a plural, a dual, or a singular? Singular. Is it the third person, the second person, or the first person? You got it. So which form of damir would you be using from huwa, hum, hum, the 14 damair, if it's hiya? Hiya, singular, feminine, third person. So whatever verb we choose, we have to use the damir hiya, that form. So let us say I want to say al mudiratu kharaja, kharaja yakhruju, yakhruju, when it comes to hiya it will be takhruju. So I say al mudiratu takhruju al ana min maktabiha. Very good. Number 11, ana fi kulliyatil handisati, in the faculty of engineering. So let us say I am studying darasa, darasa, is ana singular? Yes. Is it, let us say we are talking about you, masculine, right, and singular, and is it first person? Yes, it is first person. So I use adrusu, ana adrusu fi kulliyatil handisati, in the faculty of engineering. Number 12, ukhti, my sister, Al-ana durusaha fi daftari. She is doing something to her lesson in the notebook. Ad-daftara fi daftari in the notebook. Jar majroor taktubu. Taktubu. Very good. These are beautiful exercises. We'll take our time, and even if we go beyond 1 hour today, Nambai, we'll keep continue practicing, because these exercises will strengthen our understanding of fi'l mudari. Exercise number 6. Hawwil mubtada fi kulla min jumla al-atiyati ila al-jama'. Okay. Dr. Saab is giving us a task. He says he is asking us to solve these sentences. Very good exercise. We will take our time, okay, and we will understand. He is asking us, step number 1, make these sentences, the mubtada, the beginning, make it first, step 1, make it plural, okay, and then use a suitable fi'l mudari to complete the sentence. Okay. So, let us do number 1, at-talibu, singular. At-talibu yadkhulul fasli, yadkhulul fasal. For some reason I have a misprint here, I can't. Okay. At-talibu yadkhulul fasl. The student enters the class. Okay. Now, Dr. Saab is only asking us to pluralize, I think it's a right word, the beginning. At-talibu, what is the plural? At-tullabu. So, step 1 is complete. Now, when I say at-tullabu, now I have to change the mudare to an appropriate form. What yadkhulu is for singular, what would be for at-tullabu? Yadkhuluna. The students enters the class. Number 1, number 2, ar-rajulu, the man. Ya'kulu, al-uruzza is the rice. Al-uruzza, ar-rajulu. Now, step 1, the man is eating the rice. So, step 1, make ar-rajulu to ar-rijalu. Step 1 complete. Should I be using yakulu now? Yakuluna, al-uruzza. Number 3, al-amilu, the worker, one worker. Ya'malu fil masna'i, works in the factory, samani saatin, 8 hours, for 8 hours. Okay. So, step 1, al-amilu, make it ummalu, al-ummalu. The workers. Now, ya'malu does not make sense here. Ya'malu, what should I be using? Ya'maluna.
So, we should say, we should
match the mubtada with the proper fi'l mudari. Exactly. Beautiful exercises. Number 4, at-tajiru yaftahu dukkana. The merchant is opening the shop fi saati samiyanati, at 8 o'clock. Okay. So, what is the plural of at-tajiru? At-tujjaru. Step 1 is complete. Now, yaftahu does not make any sense here. So, we should be saying yaftahuna. And for dukan, we can not many merchants are opening in one dukan or one shop. So, let us make it dukakini. Yeah, you know, many shops. Number 5, at-tabibu yazhabu al-ana ila al-mustashfa. The doctor goes or is going right now going ila al-mustashfa, to the hospital, I'm going back and forth between Arabic and English. Yeah. At-tabibu, at-tibba'u, the doctors. Yazhabuna al-ana ilal mustashfa. Number 6. Ukhti, my sister. Tabhasu anil miknasati, is looking for the broom. Ukhti. Make plural akhwati, my sisters. Tabhasu, yabhasna, you got it. Yabhasna, hunna is yabhasna. Yabhasna anil miknasati. Now, one thing we learned in the past, bahasa means he looked, he is looking, or he looked. Yabhasu, he is looking. Whenever the verb bahasa comes, it comes with harf jar an. Just remember that. Number 7. Al mudarrisatu, the female teacher. Tadkhulu al fasla, enters the class fi saati saminati at 8 o'clock. Al mudarrisatun, whether your make it plural, al mudarrisatu, what would be the plural? Al mudarrisatu. Okay, you just open up the ta with an alif, al mudarrisatu. Now tadkhulu is hiya form. If I want to make it into hunna form, what should I say? Yadkhulna. Yadkhulna al fusulu. Let's make many classes. Al fusulu fi saati saminati at 8 o'clock. Number 8. At talibatu, the female student. Taktubud darsa, taktubud darsa, writes the lesson. At-talibatu yaktubna, ad-darsa, writes the lesson. Zamilatun, ukhti, colleague of my sister. Ta'arifu, knows al-lughat al-faransiyata, knows the French language. So zamilatun will make it plural, zamilatun, and then ukhti, zamilatun ukhti, colleagues of my sister. Now tarifu will become yarifna, yarifna, hunna form, yarifna, right? Yarifna. Al-lughat al-faransiyata, knows the French language. Number 10. Bintu ammi, daughter of my uncle. Tadrasu fil madrasati sanviyati. So bintu will become banatu, and tadrasu will change into yadrusna. Yadrusna. One thing that I noticed so far, most of these verbs Dr. Saab is introducing to us in third person. You notice that? Only a couple of here and there anta form, but most of them are third person. So he is starting from the top 6. Huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna. So it's a very methodological approach here, and then when we go along, he'll start the anta, antuma, antum form, and then the first person as well. Number 7. Annis, femininize al-fa'il, the doer of the action, fi kulli min al jumla al-atiyati, in the following, in all of the following sentences. Number 1. Aina yadrusu akhuka ya Ali. What is the meaning? Where do you study where aina yadrusu akhuka ya Ali. Now we are talking to ya Ali. The brother, akhuka, your brother. Where does your brother studies, O Ali, right? So now we have to feminize this. So aina remains aina. Okay, we'll do step by step, one word at a time. So we have to feminize this sentence here. So aina will remain aina, yadrusu will become tadrusu. Step 2, akhuka will become ukhtuka. Ukhtuka. Now akhuka, your brother, ukhtuka, your sister. Okay, and ya Ali. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. Yashrabu abil kahwata. My father drinks the coffee, right? Yashrabu. Now yashrabu, make it into, this is a huwa form, make it into a hiya form, tashrabu. Abi will become ummi al kahwata. Very good. They are beautiful exercises. Number 3, yal'abu tifla, yal'abu tiflu ma'a ukhtihu. Ukhtihu. After ma comes mudaf alayh, ukhtihu. The no, computer is fine. Just take it off. Just take it off, please. Yeah. Jazakallah. It's okay. Yeah, I think it just tripped. Okay, we move on. Yeah. Yalabu tiflu ma ukhtihu. The male child is playing with his sister. Yalabu will become talabu. Talabu. Jazakallah. Yeah, talabu. Yalabu will become talabu. At-tiflu is a male child, make it a female child, at-tiflatu, right? Ma'a ukhtihu, ukhtiha. See, we have to remember, we can't say ukhtihu because now we are not talking about tiflu, we are talking about tiflatu. So we say ukhtiha. Ma'a ukhtihi, sorry, yeah, ukhtihi, jazakallah, ukhtihi, ukhtihi. Yes, it is ukhtihi, ma ukhtihi, and why ukhti? Mudaf alayh, and then wahuwa mudaf and he mudaf alayh. Yeah, jazakallah. Number 4, yazhabu talibu ilal madrasati. Yazhabu will become tazhabu. At-talibu will become at-talibatu ilal madrasati. Very good. We know what we are doing here. Alhamdulillah. Aina yajlisul mudarrisu. Aina will remain aina, yajlisu will become tajlisu. Al mudarrisu will become, that's it, al mudarrisatu. Number 8, ta'ammal ma yali, ponder the following. Okay, this is exactly what we talked about. Dr. Saab is saying the same thing here. Tazhabu is basically, let's say tazhabu is coming in hiya form and anta form. So he is saying anta tazhabu and hiya tazhabu. Anta tazhabu and hiya tazhabu. So the context of the sentence will tell us whether we are using the tazhabu in a hiya form or in a anta form. Now exercise number 9, hawwil fail fi kulla min jumla al atiyati ila al mudari. Okay. Let's take a look at example number 1. Ana zahabtu ila suki. What is the translation? Went to the market. I went to the market. Ana zahabtu. Ana azhabu ila suki. Ana azhabu ila suki. What happens? The past tense will become the present tense. Okay, we changed from past to present. So, these all exercises are basically giving us or training our mind to use the proper mudare form from past tense to present tense, or use a proper form of mudare, because in Quran there are mudare forms on every page, right. So, we need to know who are we talking about. Number 2, ghasala al waladu wajhahu bis sabun. What is the translation? The boy, al waladu, washed, past tense, washed what? Wajhahu, his face, bis sabun, with soap. So, now the challenge here is to make it in a present tense. So, ghasala will become yaghsilu. Yaghsilu al waladu wajhahu bis sabun. That is all we are doing here. At-tullabu kharaju min al fasli. Now, kharaju will become yakhrajuna. Number 4, bi ayyi jamiati darasta ya Faisal. In which university you study, O Faisal? Darasta will become tadrusu, anta form. Number 5, at-talibatu dakhalna al-fasla. The female students entered the class, yadkhulna. Number 6, laibat aminatu ma'a ukhtiha. Okay, laibat, Amina played with her sister. Now, we want to say plays with her sister. So, laibat will become, what is laibat? Hiya form. So, we say talabu, laiba yalabu, hiya talabu, talabu aminatu ma ukhtiha. Katabal mudarrisu darsa ala saburati. The teacher wrote the lesson on the board. Wrote. Now, make kataba into present tense, yaktabu, yaktubu. Number 8, sa'alat tullabul mudarrisu as'ilata kasiratan. The students asked teacher many questions. Okay, sa'ala, yas'alu. Now, here is my question. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Answer is correct. Yas'alu, whoever said that, that is correct. But who are we talking about here? Who are the fa'il, the doer of the action? At-tullabu. Are they plural?
Yes.
Why are we using a singular form here?
Because of the beginning of the
Yes, that's one. Why are we using singular form? Shouldn't we be using yas'aluna? Why are we using, why we immediately say yas'alu? So, the grammatical rule here is whenever it's a third person, even though the fa'il is plural, the beginning will be singular, and there is a logic behind it, but we will talk about that later. Because if I bring yas'aluna, then I am dealing in two files now. Waw is the file in yas'aluna and at-tullabu is the file. So, we are I can't have the, so that is exactly the two doers, right. So, that is why you use yas'alu, this is a logic behind it. So, it is only for the third person.
I had a question. If like that sentence, if we were to reword it as like tullab first, would we say tullab yas'alun?
Yeah, then you can do that. Yeah, if you make it into a nominal sentence, yes, allowed, it's allowed, but we only, it only happens in verbal sentence. Okay. And Samajh bhai? Wow and atulab, right? But then, as brother said, if you're making it into a nominal sentence, then you use yasaluna, because the khabar is a complete jumla failure in itself.
So there is no ambiguity between the doers.
Exactly. Yes. Because atulabu is your mubtada and then yasaluna is the khabar, jumla failure coming as a khabar. But here, there is a confusion there. Number 9, and it's only for the third person. Number 9, nazal al rukabu min al hafilati. Third person, yes. Yeah, only for the third person. Nazal al rukabu min al hafilati. Rukabu means the riders, right? Min al the riders from the bus. So make nazala yanzilu. Why? Because third person plural, right? Plurals. Yanzilu. And then ghasalat ummi sayaba. My mother washed the dress. So
The dresses.
sayaba, the dresses. Yeah, the dresses. So ghasalat will become ummi. Ummi, my mother. Third person. Yaghlis. No, taghlisu. Hiya. Samajh bhai? Hiya, taghlisu. Not hunna, ummi. It's singular feminine. It's singular feminine second person. So taghlisu. Taghlisu. This is why these exercises are very important, because it prompts, you know, third person, but here is taghlisu, right? Yeah, it's third person, but then it's here is taghlisu. Yeah. Number 10. Ta'amal misalain. Ponder upon the two examples. Summa, then hawwil al af'alu fil jumla al atiyati ila af'al al munfiyati. Okay, let's take a look at these. Brother Asif said, don't try to, I sometimes do that, but then he said, when there is a question, don't try to explain the question or what's in the statement in the question. So he said, move on with the exercises. Let's take a look at examples. Kataba Ahmadud Darsa. What is the meaning? Ma kataba Ahmadud Darsa. What happened? Ahmad didn't write the lesson. Yaktabu Ahmadud Darsa. Ahmad writes the lesson. La yaktubu Ahmadud Darsa. What is the difference here? Ma and la. When we are negating the past tense, we are negating with ma. When we are negating the mudare, we are negating with la. That's all Dr. Saab is trying to enforce here in this exercise. Okay, that's all that he is doing. So ana ashrabu shaya. Ashrabu is mudare. Yeah, but we did have tea. Ana ashrabu shaya. So negate it. Wow. But let's, for the sake of doing this, I say we didn't drink tea. Okay, so we say ana la ashrabu shaya. Ana la ashrabu shaya. La'ibna kuratil qadami al yawma.
Sorry, I had a question about the first sentence. Since it's singular and first person, can't you get rid of the ana anyways to say la ashrabu shaya?
Yes, you can do that. Of course. Yeah. See, you can do that. Then it becomes a jumla failure. But then if you bring na, because the sentence itself is a jumla ismiya or a nominal sentence, that's why we are saying ana la ashrabu, right? Because we want to convert the jumla ismiya or a nominal sentence into a negation. But if you want to use the verbal, then yes, grammatically that is correct. Number 2, la'ibna. Kuratal qadamil yawma. La'ibna. We played. Kuratal qadami, soccer, today. So, if I want to say I did not play, we say ma la'ibna, ma la'ibna. Very good. Number 3, Abi yazhabu ila suki kulla yawmin. My father goes to the market every day. Now, it is a jumla ismiya. So, let us keep it that way, right. Negated Abi la yazhabu. La yazhabu ila suki kulla yawmin. Number 4, Ukhti, my sister, tadrusu bil jamiyati, studies in the university. Make it negate. Ukhti la tadrusu. Simple, बहुत simple. Number 5, a hafiz. Okay, ya Maryam. Ya Maryam means it's a second person, feminine, singular. So, I should be careful. I say a hafizti suratan naba ya Maryam. Did you memorize the okay, ma, because hafiz, hafiza, yes, memorized. So, it is past tense. So, we negate it with ma, not with la, because la is negated for the mudari form. Then we say ma hafizti suratan naba ya Maryam.
Is did you and ma is no, so the translation will be did you not.
Well, English question is?
My question is like this is already a question.
Yes.
So you add in ma means that.
Oh yes, yes. Okay. So, you are saying why I is coming in the beginning? Is
I'm
it?
saying it's a question of negation.
I think he says that from a question it becomes a rhetorical question.
Didn't you? You're right. Didn't you memorize?
Yeah.
Right? Didn't you memorize the Surah Niba, O Maryam? But remember the quality of Hamzatul Istifham. Do we know the quality of Hamzatul Istifham? Do we know what Hamzatul Istifham? Hamzatul Istifham, what we call it? Queen Victoria. Always come in the beginning of the sentence. Remove Hamzatul Istifham from this sentence, it will become a statement. Bring Hamzatul Istifham back, it will become a question mark. That is the beauty of Hamzatul Istifham. Whenever Hamzatul Istifham we remove it, the entire sentence will become a statement. Bring Hamzatul Istifham back, the entire sentence will become a question mark. So, if I am saying Ahmed Bhai ama hafizti suratin naba ya Maryam, remove Hamzatul Istifham from then it's not a question anymore. You did not memorize Suratul Naba, O Maryam. Exercise number 11. Ta'amal amsilati. Ponder upon the example. Remember, we have many exercises and it's over 1 hour. Should we stop? So, we can start from exercise number 11 in class number 55. Probably would take maybe 10-15 minutes, because I think it's enough for today. Yeah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha laha ma kasabat wa alayha maktasabat. Rabbana la tu'akhizna in nasina aw akhtana. Rabbana wa la tahmil alayna isran kama hamaltahu ala allazina min qablina. Rabbana wa la tuhammilna ma la taqata lana bih wa'fu anna waghfir lana warhamna anta maulana fansurna alal qawmil kafirin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yes.